Good afternoon, everyone, and we are doing one of my favorite aspects of psychology, which is defense mechanisms. This is straight from your psychodynamic theory, right? This and cognitive distortions has always been like a huge interest to me, and I have them. I think we all have them. We probably do all have them. I have a few people or my family members that are like, well, that's not. I'm like, well, that's a defense mechanism, what you're doing, so stop. But yes, in this video, we are going to be looking at some of the major defense mechanisms. I think I did them all. I think I did them all. So let's just get started. What are defense mechanisms? What do they do for us? How do they impact us? Do they help us? Do they save us? Because some of the times they do, right? Defense mechanisms are used to protect us. They are used to help us cope with what? Reality. What's real, what we try to push out, get rid of, not believe that it's occurring, but it actually is. And when we do that, we are seeking to do what? Reduce anxiety, reduce conflict, and even reduce stress. And I know day by day, I am a firm. I do it all the time where I'm just like, oh, you know what? Well, it's okay. I can just no. You should have done it a long time ago, right? But we do that to protect ourselves from not thinking about a consequence about something, right? So the purpose of them, what do? Like I just said, they protect us. They help us to manage some of those thoughts, those feelings, impulses, behaviors, situations, and we don't have to, deal with it at that moment. So we're going to do what? By any means necessary, try to push it down, act as if it does not exist, you pretend like it didn't happen, and that's going to do what? That's going to protect us from that emotional pain or some of that internal conflict that we might be having within ourselves. Denial. This is one of the biggest ones that I have seen a lot of people that I deal with. Like, girl, you're living in denial right now, right? We are just refusing to accept that this is what's happening, this is what's going on, because why? We don't want to have to deal with the pain. We don't want to have to deal with what it is going on at that moment. So we're just going to psych ourselves into thinking everything is fine, nothing is going on. And I have two examples that are here when it's like, sir, that lady done already filed for a divorce. Why you still trying to plan these vacations? She don't want nothing to do with you no more. You're living in denial. Leave that woman alone. Move on, right? Or if a person just like learned about maybe a diagnosis of cancer or something like that, the doctor doesn't know what they're talking about. I was there. I remember being there when they came in a room and told me that my mother had 8 months left to live. No, you don't know. You don't know. You're just reading that from a book. You're just going by. That was me living in denial because I didn't want to deal with it. It was too painful. I was hurt. I was scared. So that's what I did to try to psych myself. Repressing. This is us blocking out some of those painful memories, situations, things that have occurred to us, anything that is going to be threatening to us presently, we're going to repress it. It's just like the example just says. Sometimes, when you get older, you repress a lot of those memories. I've done it too. I've had some trauma happen in my life, and some of the times people be like, don't you remember? No, I don't remember, and I'm not really trying to remember it right now. It's a reason why I repress that memory, because I don't want to have to deal with it presently because it's already happened. I don't want to have to deal with the painful, memories of what occurred. So yes, we are going to repress it. Suppression. This is the conscious version of repressing. And this is us purposely pushing away the thoughts, but we don't forget about them. I do it all the time. I don't want to think about what recently happened. So, you know what? I'm purposely going to be like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it. Out of sight, out of mind. Same way when I went through a breakup. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm choosing forcefully. I'm pushing this away. I don't forget about it, but I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to think about how you treated me, what it is that we went through, we done, we over with. Just leave me alone, right? It's just a conscious version. It's still there, but I'm deliberately and I'm forcefully pushing it away because I don't want to think about it. But I still remember what occurred, right? Projection. This is one of the main ones. Don't be projecting that anxiety on me. If you're afraid to go on a roller coaster, don't be telling me, oh, what if it does this? I don't want to hear it. Right? I don't want to hear it, right? This is your one person own unwanted feelings or thoughts, and then you're just pushing them on somebody else. I don't want it. I don't want your anxiety. I don't want your depression. Get away from me. Don't push it on me, right? A person who is feeling jealous accuses their partner of being unfaithful without evidence. If you got a problem with some other guys or another woman or whoever the case may be looking at somebody else, that's beyond my control. So don't be accusing me that I'm cheating because now you jealous because this guy said hi to me or this girl waved to me and I didn't know who they were and you don't even know who they are. It's just odd, right? Your jealousy don't got nothing to do with me. Don't project it onto me. That's what projection is. Displacement. We all have this, right? You had that hard day at work. You can't yell at your boss. So what you gonna do when you get home? You about to come at home. You're gonna be yelling at the kids. You're gonna kick the dog. You don't want nothing to do with nobody. You're mad and you're upset. So you're displacing your emotions, your feelings from that target that you cannot go after onto someone else. And this example is so cliche. A man angry at his boss come home and yell at his children. Like, no, because women do it too. Because I know I do it. You know, I'm mad at my boss or whatever, and or a coworker or somebody to upset me and piss me off. If my sisters call, sorry, but you're going to get it because I can't act ignorant when I'm at work. That's displacement. Reaction formation. This is just a person acts in a way that is opposite of how they really feel. Now, the two examples that I have and this other one that I have, it's like I see this with so many different people, and I'm not the one to always be like, oh, you acting like that because, you know, you truly feel that way. So I have to be really careful when I do catch a person saying a certain thing. But one of the first one is, it's like, this woman is angry at her sisters, but she's constantly telling them that she loves them. I mean, I don't really like that example. It doesn't make any sense because I love my sisters and I kind of yell at them all the time, but it doesn't mean that I hate them. You know, it's not the opposite of, you know, of how I really feel about them. But this next one here is the same sex attraction that a person may have, but personally they have this same sex attraction, but openly they're going to criticize or they're going to mock. They're going to mock that person that also has that same sex attraction. That's reaction formation. To that person, it's unacceptable. To that person, they don't want to come out and say, hey, you know, I'm attracted to the same sex. Personally, they won't say that, but openly they are going to mock or they're going to criticize someone who is open about what they are hiding personally. That's reaction formation. And I never thought about it that way until I came across a question. I came across a question like this. And then that's when I was like, I said, now that makes sense. That's one way to understand reaction formation. Now, regression. This is when we revert back to those childlike behaviors, right? And this example is just one of the ways that you can look at this defense mechanism. A teenager starting wet in the bed, again, you know, when his parents announced that they are getting a divorce. But we also have those childlike behaviors when we have those stressful situations where a person may look at it, you're going through a crisis, you're going through something that's really bad, and then like you curl up into a ball and you're crying. That's considered like a childlike behavior. As an adult, you regress back to a stage from what you did that you found was soothing as a child, or it was a reaction to a stressful situation as a child, and you do it as an adult. That's regression. I hope that makes sense. Now, rationalization. This is me. This is all me up in here, you know. I gotta justify like that behavior that I just did or something that I really messed up on, and my reasons may be false, but in my mind, it's okay, right? They cheated anyways. I do it a lot. I find myself doing a lot since I started playing, because I play the Switch too. I'm a gamer. I love to game, and I've been playing Mario Kart Open World, and every time I turn around, it's a certain player on there or a board, you know, that I'm studied constantly, coming in second place or third place in, I'll tell myself they cheated anyways. They always cheat for the computer. That wasn't fair. And here I am. I'm just restarting the game. No, it wasn't fair. It wasn't a false reason. You lost. Get over it, Carrie. This is what I'm constantly telling myself when I am playing this game. But that is rationalization. Intellectualization. This is the logic that we are all using sometimes to avoid emotional or stressful or crisis situations. Now you're using logic instead of like being sitting with your emotions, with what's going on. Like a person that is diagnosed with a serious illness, right? Instead of you processing what is going on, now you're just doing research studies. You're trying to look up information. You're trying to find out, what are the chances that I'm going to live longer, or what happens when this happened, or what happens when this happened, when you just need to be comfortable with your emotions and what you are going through at that moment. I mean, it's very hard to look at it from that angle, because who wouldn't do that, right? We're using this defense mechanism again because you're doing what? You're trying to protect yourself from the emotional stress or that threat that is impacting you at that moment, right? Sublimation. This is your mature defense. Unacceptable. We got to move it to something that is socially acceptable, right? So it's unacceptable behaviors, ways you are, the way you're acting, the things that you do, but we got to move it to something that is socially acceptable, right? A person that is aggressive, right? But it's socially unacceptable, or it's unacceptable to be, somebody bumping to you in a grocery store, and now you're trying to fight the man, the young lady, or the child in the grocery store because you're so aggressive. So now let's do something that is socially acceptable so that we can work on that. Try boxing. I don't like this example, but this is something that is like unacceptable, so we have to make it something that is acceptable in life. You can't go through life being mad, being upset, being mad at the world. Do something to channel it, right? Do something, find a way that is more mature for you to use that aggression that you have. Identification, right? Identification. This is going to be you taking on some of those traits or those behaviors from somebody else, right? I guess you can say idolizing this person, you like this person, you look up to this person or whatever. So I want to be like them. I want to do what they're doing because I want to be accepted. So if this is what's acceptable, I'm going to identify with them because I feel like I'm not a part of it, right? And again, that's the example, a child dressing, acting like this, the popular girl or the popular boy, the jock or whatever, to feel more accepted, right? So I identify with them. I like how they are. I see the attention they get. I see that they are popular. People like them. So now I want to do the same thing. And that's how I'm going to cope with not liking myself, which is that low self-esteem component, right? I identify with them. So now I got to, do something that's going to be more accepting to other people. That's identification. Splitting. Situations, people, whatever may happen, whatever may occur, it's all good or it's all bad. There's no gray area. There's no in between, right? I sometimes struggle with this with some of my teenage clients that I have, that I work with. I'm loved, I'm awesome, I'm amazing one day, and then the next day I challenged you, or I tried to make you see something that was far, maybe let's look at it this way, and now you don't know what you're talking about. Who do you think you are? First of all, we've been working with each other for the past 2 years now. Maybe 2 years we've been working with each other. I think we've had a good relationship with each other where I can, call you out on what you're doing, right? Not at the beginning, because remember, we don't challenge or confront our clients like when you just now meeting them. Let's not do that. But I've been working with you 2 years. I think I can do that with you. But now all of a sudden, I'm all good one week, and then the next week I'm all bad. There's no gray area. There's no in between, right? Either you did it wrong or you did it right. You didn't do a maybe, right? There's no in between. So these are your defense mechanisms. I hope they make sense. You may or may not see them on the exam. You might see them in answer responses, but you know what they mean now, so you'll be able to do what? Strike it out, get rid of it. You know it's not a right answer. Leave a comment, question, any concerns that you may have regarding defense mechanisms. I am around, I am here, and I am willing to listen. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.